Most people waste years learning a language and still can't understand it. Why? Because they focus on the wrong thing. I'll show you what actually works and why it's 10 times faster. My name is Mikel Teiria Mujica and I'm a hyper-polyglot. I speak 12 languages. And I developed a fast and efficient language learning system at the Innovation Center of the University of Deusto, here in San Sebastian. I've helped thousands of people learn languages much faster without wasting time. Most people struggle to understand a foreign language, even after months or years of learning. They watch videos, they try listening to native speakers, but they don't understand anything apart from very basic learning materials. And they feel stuck. Why? Because comprehension is simple. Vocabulary plus pronunciation. That's it. Vocabulary is the most important thing. If you know the words, you understand what you're reading, and you will more or less understand what you are hearing as well. Even if you don't know grammar, you can guess the meaning. Grammar is useful, but it's easy to learn in context. The problem is that most people learn the wrong way. They waste years studying grammar rules. They memorize verb charts. They fill in exercises in grammar books. But when they hear native speakers talk, they understand nothing. Because grammar is not the problem. Lack of vocabulary is. Lack of understanding of pronunciation is. And then there's the comprehensible input myth. It sounds good in theory. Watch videos in the language and absorb it naturally. Immersion, like a child. But here's the problem. It's extremely slow. Very slow. You need beginner content for years if you're going to learn like that. Because you don't know enough words, you can't guess the meaning. So you sit there, watching easy content, hoping you'll magically improve. But you won't improve unless you spend thousands of hours doing it. So it's a waste of time. So what's the right way to learn? Step 1. Learn the most useful vocabulary first. I use my language islands for that. Instead of random words, focus on the most important sentences. The sentences you actually need for conversation. With this, you can learn around 2,000 words and the most basic grammar right away, in a matter of days. And after that, you don't need beginner content. You can jump straight into interesting real-world content by native speakers for native speakers. So step 2 is choosing an interesting podcast or two, or any kind of show. Find something you actually enjoy, podcasts about business, health, sports, whatever. Something you would listen to in your own language, and you start listening to it. But first, you get a transcript, and this is really important, because listening alone doesn't work. You get the transcript, you get the vocabulary list of the transcript, and you use associations to memorize all the words of the transcript. And only then you listen to the podcast, after memorizing all the vocabulary in the podcast. You already know the words, you memorize them, so when you hear them in context, you'll recognize them. And now you understand. And the next step is repeating the same process with another episode. And each time it gets easier and easier. And don't forget that you can also go back to all the episodes and listen to them again. Listening to them after a few days is a great idea. Spaced repetition. You'll notice you understand even more then. This method is really fast because instead of guessing, you attack the language directly. You learn thousands of words quickly and then you review them in context with interesting content. And instead of years, you'll understand the language in a matter of weeks. And you'll be able to listen to interesting content, so you'll be able to continue getting exposed to the language in an interesting way without too much effort. And once you understand interesting content, you can't fail. You did it. If you want to learn how to memorize 100 words a day easily in any language using mnemonic associations, check out my video on mnemonic associations. It's a game changer.